Okay, good morning. Welcome back again. Hope you have you were where did we stop? Do you remember? We were dealing with the Project Tiger, Satyajit Ray, and I had given you some of the activities. Do you remember? There are 3 characters are given there. Hope you have written it. So I will check your notebooks. Then 3 characters, Charlie Chaplin, Adoor Gopalakrishnan, then what is called Satyajit Ray, etc. is there. So you have to prepare profiles of them. I hope you have already prepared it. Then we have 4 paragraphs we have studied in detail, and if you have any more doubt, you should ask me either by WhatsApp or text message, etc. So now let us move to the another session of our class. So you may please take page number 45. Have you taken page number 45? There are some more. Next paragraph number 5. Look. Every animal in a Hollywood film is well trained. It is not difficult to train a horse or a dog. But have you ever heard trained ravens? Trained ravens, have you ever heard? Not just 1 or 2, but nearly 100 of them. Even this was made possible in Hollywood. It was also very possible in Hollywood. When the creator of some of the best suspense films in the history of cinema, Alfred Hitchcock, decided to make a film called Birds. In the story, birds from all over the world start attacking humans. Hitchcock needed a variety of birds. But what was required? In the largest number was ravens. Notices were placed in the press all over in the United States, asking people to contact the filmmaker if they knew how to get hold of the trained ravens. So let us go back. Every animal in the Hollywood film was well trained. Hollywood film, they were well trained. It's not difficult to train a horse or dog. Horse or dog giving training is very simple, very easy. But have you ever heard of a trained ravens? Ravens, type of a crow. Ravens, a type of bird. So how? Not just 1 or 2, but nearly 100 of them. He needed hundreds of. So even it was made possible in Hollywood. It was 100 കണക്കിന് റേവൻസിനെ ട്രെയിൻ ചെയ്യുക. ദാറ്റ് വാസ് അവരെ വെച്ച് ഫിലിം വെക്കാൻ പോലും ഹോളിവുഡ് ഇറ്റ് വാസ് വെരി യൂഷ്വൽ. അതൊക്കെ പതിവ് സംഭവങ്ങളാണെന്ന് അർത്ഥം. ഈവൻ ദിസ് വാസ് മെയ്ഡ് പോസിബിൾ ഇൻ ഹോളിവുഡ് വെൻ ദ ക്രിയേറ്റർ ഓഫ് ദ സം ഓഫ് ദ ബെസ്റ്റ് സസ്പെൻസ് ഫിലിം ഇൻ ദ ഹിസ്റ്ററി ഓഫ് സിനിമ, ആൽഫ്രഡ് ഹിച്ച്കോക്ക്. സോ വാട്ട് ഇസ് ദ സ്പെഷ്യാലിറ്റി ഓഫ് ആൽഫ്രഡ് ഹിച്ച്കോക്ക്? Suspense film, creator of suspense film. So he made suspense films. So he just made films. In the history of cinema, Alfred Hitchcock decided to make a film called The Birds. So what was the name? The Birds. So that was the name of the film, The Birds. Alfred Hitchcock. So he made called Birds in the film. Not the birds, only birds. The name of the film is Birds. So in that film, he needed a lot of ravens. In the story, birds from all over the world start. So what was the story in the film? So birds all over the world, from all over the world, attacking humans. അതാണ് ആ കഥയുടെ ഇതിവൃത്തം. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് എ ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് ബേർഡ്സ് അറ്റാക്കിംഗ് ഹ്യൂമൻ ബീയിങ്സ്. സോ ദാറ്റ് വാസ് ദ സീൻ ദർ ഓർ ടു ബി ഷൂട്ടഡ്, ഓർ ദാറ്റ് വാസ് ദ സീൻ ഓഫ് ദി, ഓർ ദാറ്റ് വാസ് ദ സ്റ്റോറി ഓഫ് ദി ഫിലിം. സോ he was in need of a lot of birds, different types of birds he needed. And what he required was a lot of ravens, hundreds of ravens he needed. ഒരുപാട് പക്ഷികൾ ഇങ്ങനെ മനുഷ്യരെ ആക്രമിക്കുകയാണ്. ആൻഡ് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ആവശ്യം എന്താണ്? he needed a lot of ravens, hundreds of ravens. So what did he do? Notices were placed സാധാരണ നമ്മൾ ആവശ്യം വന്നാൽ പത്രത്തിലൊക്കെ നോട്ടീസ് കൊടുക്കൂലേ. യെസ്, സോ നോട്ടീസസ് വേർ പ്ലേസ്ഡ് ഇൻ ദ പ്രസ് all over the United States. In the press means in the newspaper. Press here means newspaper. So in the newspaper, notices were placed. We needed a lot of phrase. Asking people to contact the filmmaker if you knew how to. So, ഒരു നോട്ടീസാണ്. Here you need, suppose ഒരു പത്രത്തിൽ നോട്ടീസ് കൊടുക്കണം വിചാരിക്കുക. You need some. So how did Alfred Hitchcock made it? So that's a question for you, and I will give you that question. I hope I think you have prepared such a notice. So it's very important. Alfred Hitchcock placed in notices. What did he want? He want a lot of birds. He want a lot of birds, especially ravens. So that was the content. That is the content of the notice. So stating that you have to prepare a notice. I will give that question separately. Do not write now. Okay, I hope you have already written it. If you have already written, no need to write. Okay, so that was the people to contact the filmmaker. Contact me. So that will be. So you can write. So how whenever in need of hundreds of ravens, those who have the trained ravens, contact with me. So something like that you can write. Someone replied within few days. Within a few days, somebody. So your response was, I have the. So they sent letters. They contacted with him. He was asked to bring the birds, and he arrived with almost 100 trained ravens. Almost 100. There's a 100 തന്നെ ravens he had. Admittedly, the trading had not gone very bad. സമ്മതിച്ചേ പറ്റും. അഡ്മിറ്റഡ്ലി, ദാറ്റ് മീൻ ഐ വുഡ് അഡ്മിറ്റ്, നമുക്ക് അഡ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്തേ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. ദ ട്രെയിനിങ് ഹാഡ് നോട്ട് ഗോൺ ബാഡ്. മോശമല്ലാത്ത ട്രെയിനിങ് കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ദാറ്റ് വാസ് സോ യു ലുക്ക് ദ സ്ട്രക്ചർ ഓഫ് ദെയർ ട്രെയിനിങ് ഹാഡ് നോട്ട് ഗോൺ വെരി ബാഡ്. വളരെ മോശമല്ലായിരുന്നു അവരുടെ ട്രെയിനിങ്. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് they were trained ravens. These birds were, that is to say they could not do anything that might be seen as extraordinary. But if as many as 50 ravens are told to perch quietly in a row on a specified spot, if they obey this command instantly, isn't that pretty impressive? Suppose they were asked, so these birds were given training. No doubt they had got to training. So 50 of the birds, so there are 100 birds, 100 ravens, and they were asked to stay in a line, stay in a rope or somewhere else, stay in a line. So the trainer gives a command, and what is they do exactly that type. So ഒരു കയറെന്തെങ്കിലും കിട്ടിയിട്ട് ആ കയറുമ്പോൾ വലിയായിട്ട് പോയിരിക്കാൻ ഒരു നിർദ്ദേശം കൊടുത്തു, give a direction, and they obeys that. These trained ravens do that. So we can say that training. അത് isn't it that pretty impressive? അതാണ് ചോദ്യം. Isn't that pretty impressive? അത് മനോഹരമല്ലേ? Needless to say, in our own country, it is not all easy to find trained animals. പറയേണ്ട കാര്യമില്ലെങ്കിലും it is in our own country. Our own country, ഏതാ രാജ്യം? Our own country, in India itself. In our own country, it is not at all easy to find trained animals. Not at all easy. It is not easy to find trained animals. Although some films have been made in Bombay, in Madras, that involved working with elephants. Elephantsുമായിട്ട് ചില ഫിലിം നടത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പോലും Mumbai and Madras. Houses and tigers. Tigers, you know that we made film Mrigaya, Pulimurigan, etc. So tigers are also used. Their performance suggests that they were used to obeying commands. So that means obeying commands of the trainer that was to do. Okay, now in Bengal it is sometimes possible to find clever dogs also. In some films we can see some dogs, particularly police dogs, which are quite intelligent. Do you remember in some of the stories police dogs? C.I.D. Musa, do you remember? Yes, police dog. So police dog, they are very intelligent. Their movement is very intelligent. If one is prepared to be patient, it is not altogether impossible to get a good performance out of them, as were managed to the in Bhulo in Pathar Panchali. I think you may have seen. If you didn't see, you may please watch it from your YouTube channel. From any YouTube you may write Pathar Panchali. Okay, in that Bhulo, it was another dog. So in this case, some performance out of them were so managed to do with Bhulo in Pathar Panchali. So we have already in Bengali, it's a Bengali film. So in 6th standard also you may have studied some part. Do you remember which textbook you have studied in 6th standard? Do you remember making salt, what is called pickle, mango pickle? So it is a part taken from Pathar Panchali. So anyway, you may remember it. So we have done, that means the author is, or the writer, so they is telling that in some films we are used is such a difficult animals. In a difficult way we have used. Yet a dog might be difficult, not impossible. Yet a dog, you know, ഒരു ടൈംഡ് സാധനമാണെന്ന് വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറയാം. ടൈംഡ് ഒരു it is a domestic animal. ഡോഗ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു ഡൊമസ്റ്റിക് അനിമലാണ്, ക്രൂരനല്ല. അല്ലല്ലോ, ഡൊമസ്റ്റിക് ആണ്, ജസ്റ്റ് ലൈക്ക് കൗ ആൻഡ് നമ്മൾ വളർത്തുന്നവരുമൊക്കെയാണ്. ആൻഡ് ഹിയർ ലുക്ക് ടു ഹാൻഡിൽ ഇസ് വെരി. ആൻഡ് വാട്ട് വാസ് വൺ സപ്പോസ്ഡ് ടു ഡു ഇഫ് ദർ വാസ് നീഡഡ് ഫോർ എ ടൈഗർ ഇൻ എ ഫിലിം? That's our topic. So we are going to shoot a film with a tiger. The scenes and its explanation are the total story of our this lesson. So tiger, suppose we need, so we have seen a lot of films, or we have already experienced or shared some experience of films with ravens, with collies, Rin Tin Tin, etc., etc. Do you remember? Then we have Pathar Panchali and Bhulo as a main character. So we have seen a lot, but these are not aggressive. They will not attack anybody. ഇപ്പോൾ നായക്കാണെങ്കിലും അതിൻ്റെ ആക്രമണത്തിനൊക്കെ ഒരു പരിധിയുണ്ട്. ബട്ട് വാട്ട് അബൌട്ട് എ ടൈഗർ? ടൈഗർ ഈസ് നോട്ട് എ ഡൊമസ്റ്റിക് ആനിമൽസ്. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് എ ഡൊമസ്റ്റിക് ആനിമൽ. അതൊരു ക്രൂവലായ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു വന്യമൃഗമാണ്. സോ ഇറ്റ് വിൽ അറ്റാക്ക് അറ്റ് എനി ടൈം. ഈവൻ എലിഫൻസിനെ പോലും നമുക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ബി ടൈംഡ്, വളരെ പെട്ടെന്ന് ടൈം ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാവുന്ന ഇണക്ക്. ടൈം മീൻസ് ഇണക്ക്. ഒരു എലിഫൻസ് വളർത്തുന്ന ആനകൾ ധാരാളം ഉണ്ടല്ലോ. സോ അത് എപ്പോഴും മതം പൊട്ടുമ്പോൾ ഒന്ന് വയലൻ്റ് ആവുന്നല്ലാതെ ബാക്കി ദേ ആർ സൈലൻറ്റ്. പാപ്പാൻ പറയുന്ന, മെഹറ്റ് പറയുന്ന എന്തും അനുസരിക്കാൻ ദേ ആർ റെഡി. ആൻഡ് ഹിയർ വാട്ട് അബൌട്ട് ടൈഗർ? That is the problem. You may have seen some of the tigers that obeying commands from the circus. കുറേ സർക്കസ് കണ്ടവർക്കൊക്കെ അറിയാം. അതും ട്രെയിൻ ചെയ്തിട്ട്. ബട്ട് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് ഈസി. ദാറ്റ്സ് ട്രെയിനിങ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് ഈസി. ആനയെപ്പോലെയോ ഈവൻ ആനയെപ്പോലെ പോലും ഈസി അല്ല ടു ഗിവ് ട്രെയിനിങ് ഫോർ എ tiger. So here we Satyajit Ray need a tiger to shoot a film. We had to deal with the problem too. When we were shooting Gobi Gaine Baga Baine. So that was the name of the film. So this film is to be shooted. For that we need a tiger. In the film, Gobi was banished. Gobi, it's the name of a character, and he was banished from the country by the king and wanders in the forest. Banished. And നമുക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ ആട്ടി ഓടിക്കുക. So some mistakes they may have committed. എന്തെങ്കിലും ഗുരുതരമായ രാജ്യദ്രോഹ കുറ്റം എന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് അവരെ നാട് കടത്തി എന്നൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ ഇന്നത്തെ ഭാഷയിൽ പറയാം. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ബാനിഷ്ഡ്. They were banished. Gobi was banished by the king, wanders in the forest. Meets Baga, who was also been banished. അതിന് മുമ്പേ ബാനിഷ് ചെയ്ത വേറൊരുത്തുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, and his name was Baga. So both of them were meeting in the forest. അവരൊന്നും they are not animals, they are human beings. That is, അവരോട് എങ്ങനെ വേണമെങ്കിലും അഭിനയിക്കാൻ പറയാം. So this is story. Gobiyum Bagayum, they were human characters. They are not animal characters. But what was the scene to be shooted? They are meeting in a forest, and there they see a tiger, and both of them freeze. പേടിച്ച് ഭയന്ന്. So do you remember the homeopathy doctor? പിന്നെ സ്നേക്ക് ചുറ്റിയപ്പോൾ ബിക്കം എ ഫ്ലഷ് ഇമേജ്, മാംസത്തിൻ്റെ ഒരു ഇമേജായി മാറുന്നു, എ സ്റ്റോൺ ഇമേജ് ആയി മാറുന്നതുപോലെ ഹി ബിക്കം വാട്ട് ഹാപ്പൻസ്? ബോത്ത് ഓഫ് ദം ഫ്രീസ് വെൻ ദേ സീ എ ടൈഗർ. സോ ടൈഗർ അവിടെ വരണം, ടൈഗറിനെ അവർ കാണണം. അതും ഒരുപാട് ദൂരം നിന്നും കണ്ടാൽ പോരാ. സോ ഷുഡ് സീ എ ലിറ്റിൽ near and they would become freeze. This scene is to be shooted. So that was the part of the story of the film. And then I was two teenager, that was a part of the film. So, but the tiger simply walks. But the tiger should not attack anybody. Tiger and the very bad tiger should simply walk and go away. So that is a scene to be shot without paying them the slightest attention, without giving small attention or attention, slightest attention. So they should go away. The tiger should walk away. So that was the scene to be shooted. So it is a very critical situation is here. First one, it is what is called, it is a tiger, and it is not a domestic animal, and it is and it is to be trained, and Gobi and Baga, they were both of them banished. So I think you remember the story, and I don't like to repeat it again and again because you have already done it. So one more paragraph, I think. Having thought of the scene, page number 46, you may please take page number 46. Having thought of the scene, I simply had to shoot it. Having thought of this, I simply had to shoot it. But where were we going to find a tiger? Where were we going to find a tiger? We needed to find a tiger. Where were we? Where will find a tiger? The obvious thing that to do was look at the circus scenes. They were likely to have trained animals. So I thought about let us look at some of the circus companies, because clearly they had only the tigers, trained tigers, have to train animals. As a matter of fact, one called Bharat Sarkar was visiting Calcutta at that time. So it wasn't film is to be, it's a Bengali film. Bengal, it was situation in Bengal. So in Calcutta, somebody told that Calcutta Bharat Circus is there is Bharat Circus is there and playing. So Calcutta in that time holding shows at Marcus Square. That was the name of the a particular place. Market place Marcus Square. So they were Marcus Square, or place in Calcutta. We went to someone to make a meeting with appointment with its Tamil manager, and then went to meet him one morning. So we went to someone, that means somebody was sent, and we need a meeting with the manager of the circus. And next morning we went there. We went to someone to make. So there is a chance for a question chance. What is that? Meeting with the manager and Satyajit Ray. So already an appointment has been fixed. Appointment ready, and he is telling good morning, good morning. So that you have done it. I am not wasting the time again. And then went to meet him in the morning. He greeted us warmly and ordered South Indian coffee to us. He gave. So here is a coffee for you. So you can include that scene also in your conversation. While you are preparing conversation, you can write that also. Here's coffee for you. South Indian coffee offered. The manager heard the reason for our visit. Manager, why they went there? They told that we need a tiger to shoot a film. So what was the scene? So he explained everything for him. Then went to the manager, had a reason for visit, then sent for one Mr. Thoret. Then he sent for one Mr. Thoret. Mr. Thoret, Thorat, Thorat, somebody will, okay, that pronunciation is not, because the name is a name. Turned out to be a ringmaster. He is the ringmaster. Who is that? Ringmaster. What is ringmaster? Yes, that's the name of the film itself. I don't remember the name. Ringmaster, do you remember the name of the film which Diana the dog and Dilip and another Diana the heroine? The characters, do you remember that story? Have you seen? Okay, I hope you may have seen, some of you. I know that some of you have only seen. He is South Indian, is well built, with the features of a Nepali. With the features of a Nepali, some is it a feature? Yes, features somewhat like those of a Nepali. Or a Nepali lookula, or well built aya. He was very South Indian, and he was perhaps not more than 40. Was not more than 40. Character sketch of Thorat Joichale, you have to write all these things. character sketch. There may be a chance to ask character sketch of Nepal, of this Mr. Tarat. Okay, more than 40 and how old he was, and he showed us the old scar on his forearm. There was an old scar on his forearms, kaigalil. There was, which had been caused by the tiger, which had been seen tiger. Okay, now let us stop for this day. Hope you have understood. There are some questions are there. We have already dealt only 2 questions from 5, 6, 3, only 2 questions we answered. Third question, fourth question, fifth question, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have already dealt with that questions. That is why I am skipping it in a hasty way. So, how did eighth question? How did Ray manage to get the tiger? The 9th one, what is the role of a ringmaster in the circus? 9 till 9. So 3rd to 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These 9 questions to 9, 3rd to 9. That means 7 questions you should answer as a part of this class. So you should write it in your notebook and send me the picture. So okay, let us stop for this day, and we will meet you in the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day. Signing off.